This might be the most powerful and useful AI that has come out this year.
Okay, item number 83 is steamed bamboo roll with vegetables.
Based on my analysis of the CT scans, it appears that the top right and bottom left images show signs of tumors. The top right scan shows multiple smaller lesions, while the bottom left one shows a single larger mass in the liver.
You can see that the entire top side is 12, and the small horizontal section on the right is 3. So what do you think that missing side would be? The pedestrian light is now green. You can begin to cross the street.
The price has seen a strong upward trend since the beginning of December. The price has gone above the green simple moving average line, indicating positive price movement and high volume in the last few days.
Google just released a super powerful and useful AI tool. This can seriously improve your life, and best of all, it's completely free to use. Now, I'm not sure if there's an official name for this, but I just refer to this as Gemini Live. This is basically a real-time voice and vision AI assistant by Google, which is powered by their latest model, Gemini 2.0. You can basically point your camera at anything or share your screen and ask it questions. Or you can even just talk to it and it would respond back like a voice assistant. So in this video, I'll show you how to use it, plus I try to showcase some useful practical examples which you might actually use in real life, just to show you how powerful this tool can be. So let's jump right in. First, all you have to do is go to aistudio.google.com, which I'll link to in the description below. Once you're there, you'll see this left column. If you don't, you might need to click on this arrow to expand it. And then at the top here are several options, including Create Prompt, and this is the default tab. This is where you can talk to it like a regular chatbot, like ChatGPT. Now, this feature is not too exciting. I mean, this is basically like ChatGPT. However, on this left column, if you click on Stream Real Time, here is where you can access the more powerful features. Now, as you can see here, there are 3 options. You can either talk to Gemini like a voice assistant, which I'll show you in a second. Or you can also show Gemini your webcam or your phone's camera and ask it questions, which I'll also show you in a second. But first of all, we are going to click on this one, share your screen. So this basically allows you to share your computer or phone screen with the AI. And then over here is where you can select the different model. Right now, we can only select this one, Gemini 2.0 Flash. And then for the output format, you can select either audio or text. We are going to go with audio. And then you can also select different voices. I'm just going to go with the default, which is called Puck. So I'm going to click Share Screen, and one really useful application for this is to share your lecture notes or whatever you're studying or reading and ask it questions so you can get a better understanding. Let's say you are studying Econ 101 and here are your lecture notes and you have no idea what this is. Again, you can just click Share Your Screen and then pull up your PowerPoint and ask the AI questions in real time. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How can I help?
I don't really get this graph here. Can you explain it in simple high school terms?
Sure, let's break down this graph. It shows the relationship between the price of wheat and the quantity of wheat, with market supply and demand intersecting at the equilibrium point. This point, shown by the dashed lines, represents the perfect balance where the quantity of wheat supplied matches the quantity demanded. Do you have any other questions about it?
Okay, what about the blue lines that are making this X shape here? What exactly is that?
Sure. The 2 blue lines forming the X represent the market supply and market demand curves. The upward sloping line, going from the bottom left to top right, is market supply, showing how much wheat sellers are willing to supply at different prices. The downward sloping line, going from top left to bottom right, is market demand, showing how much wheat buyers are willing to purchase at different prices. Did you understand?
Can you explain why this market supply line is sloping up to the right like this?
The market supply curve slopes upward because, as the price of wheat increases, farmers are generally willing to supply more wheat. This is because higher prices mean more profit for the farmers, encouraging them to increase production. Does that make sense?
Got it. Okay.
Great. What can I help you with now?
1 second.
Okay, I'll wait. Take your time.
I don't really get the concept of opportunity cost. Can you give me a few more simple examples?
Absolutely. Opportunity cost is basically what you give up when you make a choice. For example, if you choose to study for an exam instead of going to a movie, the opportunity cost is the enjoyment of the movie you missed out on. Another example could be choosing to buy a new video game. In that case, the opportunity cost could be that new shirt you wanted but can't afford. Did those examples make sense?
So instead of lecture notes, here's another example where you can ask it questions about a research paper. Here I'm reading this paper. Give me like 3 sentences summarizing the paper.
Okay, here is a 3-sentence summary. The paper investigates video understanding in large multimodal models, noting that current mechanisms are poorly understood. It examines how factors like data sampling and architectures affect performance, finding that fixed frame sampling during training is best. They also introduce Apollo, a family of models that demonstrates state-of-the-art video performance across different model sizes.
Okay, can you explain this figure for me?
Certainly, let me explain this figure. It's showing the scaling consistency of different language models, with the graphs displaying the R-squared values against model size and dataset size. In the left graph, the 7B model, in red, shows an increasing correlation with larger model sizes, while the 0.5B model, in blue, does not. The right graph shows how R-squared changes with dataset size for different models, with a plateau seen for R-squared at around 500 close samples.
Can you dumb it down for me and explain this in high school terms?
Sure, I can help with that. The document you're showing is about how well different sizes of AI models perform when trained on different amounts of data. The left graph shows that bigger models perform better, but their performance increases at a slower rate as the model size increases. The right graph shows that performance improves as the amount of training data grows. Does that explanation make sense?
Yes, perfect, thank you. Now, of course, with a real-time vision AI, you can also share your screen and get it to help you play video games.
And I want to make sure I complete the weekly quests. Can you see them?
Yes, I can see them. Looks like you need to pick up 300 gems and dust 10 boss monsters. You've already got a head start on the 300 gems.
Cool. I'll ask you to remind me about it during the game because I keep forgetting about it.
Absolutely. I'll keep an eye out and remind you about the quests.
So maybe you could recommend troop composition for my army.
Based on your available troops and their quantity in the top left of the screen, we should train a mix of giants, barbarians, archers, and wizards. The focus should be on using giants to absorb damage, while wizards can take out high damage defenses, and barbarians and archers can deal with the weaker buildings.
All right, that sounds good.
Hey, I'm about to pick a character. Can you do a quick search on Reddit? What is the meta? As in, like, what are the best characters?
Let me look that up for you. I'll let you know what I find. From what I found on Reddit, it looks like Shelly is a good character due to her knockback and self-heal. It's also worth considering Jessie and Ice Wizard, which are in the A tier in the recent tier list. Do you want me to go into more detail on the tier list?
Here's another example of getting this AI to translate this Japanese video game in real time as the person plays.
Okay, I see a new tutorial screen. The title at the top says Tutorials. In the upper right, there is Japanese text that explains Rage Gauge. It says that when you attack enemies, the Rage Gauge fills up. When the Rage Gauge is full, Rage Mode becomes available. The more combos you make, the quicker you fill the gauge. There is also a button in the lower right that says Finish. There's a number 48 combo on the upper left corner as well.
Another crazy idea I had for this is you can get it to analyze X-ray images or other medical scans of yourself or anyone else, and perhaps get it to diagnose diseases. Now, just a disclaimer, I would not depend solely on Gemini for diagnosis, but this could be a good way for you to get a second opinion. Anyways, I'm going to upload some teeth X-ray scans and see if it can diagnose cavities. Hey there, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah, so what do you see right now?
I see a dental X-ray image. It shows a row of upper teeth and a row of lower teeth. The teeth appear to be healthy. Is there anything else you would like me to comment on?
Can you identify any cavities in this image?
I'm unable to diagnose any cavities based on the X-ray image. It's best to consult a dentist for any dental concerns.
Alright, here's another image. Are you able to see if there's any cavities in this image?
I can see that you've shared another dental X-ray image. Based on this image, I see that the teeth appear to have some darker areas that could be cavities. However, I can't say for sure if there are cavities, and I recommend consulting with a dentist for a professional diagnosis.
Okay, assume you are the dentist. What would you say is the probability that this image has a cavity, and where is the cavity?
Okay, if I were a dentist looking at this x-ray, I would say that the dark area on the side of the tooth is a strong indicator of a cavity.
All right, perfect. So let's cross-check this. So I just got these images from a blog, and the first image I shared, indeed, is a normal X-ray with no cavities present, which Gemini got correct. And then the second image does have a cavity, and Gemini did indeed say that there's a high chance that this image has a cavity. Or here's another example of using Gemini for analyzing CT scans. According to the user, it got everything correct, including correctly diagnosing acute pancreatitis, which is pretty insane.
Hey Gemini, what do you see? Can you describe what image I'm scrolling through right now?
The image you're showing is a CT scan of the abdomen. It displays the liver, stomach, and surrounding structures.
What organ am I pointing to now with my cursor?
You're currently pointing to the spleen with your cursor.
Okay, Gemini, what am I pointing to now? What organ?
You're now pointing to the liver.
Okay, so I'm scrolling down here now. Gemini, what am I pointing at now? What organ is this?
You're now pointing at the pancreas.
Okay, and do you see anything abnormal on this scan?
Yes, there is a small amount of fluid around the spleen and the pancreas on the scan, which could be a sign of inflammation or injury.
Okay, anything else that you notice about the pancreas?
The pancreas appears somewhat swollen, which could suggest pancreatitis.
Okay, the patient has an elevated lipase level. What do you think about that?
Given the elevated lipase levels and the appearance of the pancreas, it is highly suggestive of pancreatitis.
Okay, what complications should I be looking for?
Based on the scan, you should be looking for complications like pancreatic necrosis, pseudocysts, and infection.
You could also get it to help you use software. For example, here it guides the user on how to edit videos in Premiere Pro.
It looks like you are using Adobe Premiere Pro. There is a video on the timeline with some effects applied. Is there anything in particular you'd like me to look at?
Yeah, I need your help because I want to add a blur to the scene. Could you please tell me how to do that?
Sure, I can help you with that. To add a blur effect in Premiere Pro, first select the clip that you want to blur in the timeline. Then, navigate to the effects panel on the left side of the screen, type blur in the search bar, and drag the Gaussian blur effect onto your clip. After that, adjust the amount of blur you want in the Effect Controls panel, which should appear when you select the clip.
Amazing. Have I done it right here?
Okay, I can see you've added the Gaussian blur effect to your clip. The blurriness is set at 75, and it appears to be a horizontal blur. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. Thank you so much.
By the way, you might have noticed these additional settings down here. Now, instead of me explaining what these are, what I'm actually going to do is share the screen with Gemini and get it to explain what these mean. So let me go ahead and click share screen. Hey there, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah, so I notice a few settings under this tools section in the right sidebar. Can you tell me what each one of these can do?
Sure, I can help with that. The Tools section in the right sidebar has code execution, function calling, automatic function response, and grounding. Would you like to know what each one does individually?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's start with code execution. This allows the model to execute code in a sandbox environment and can be useful for tasks that involve mathematical calculations or other code-related operations. Do you want me to move to the next one?
Yes, what about function calling?
Function calling lets the model use external tools or APIs to get information or perform actions, expanding its capabilities beyond just text generation. Would you like me to explain automatic function response next?
Yes, please.
Automatic function response enables the model to automatically respond with the results of a function call without requiring additional instruction. Would you like to know about the last one, which is grounding?
Yes.
Grounding lets the model search results and provide links to relevant sources in its responses. Does that fully answer your question?
So if I turn on this grounding feature, what exactly does that do? Can you explain this in simple terms?
If you turn on grounding, the model will include search results and links to the sources it used to create the response. This helps you see where the information is coming from and can also help you verify the model's answers. Does that make sense?
So basically, these three functions are more for developers to use, but this one is really useful. If you turn this on, not only will it analyze whatever you show on your screen or webcam, but it would also search results from the internet. Or here's another nice use case for this. Again, I'm going to click share screen. Hey there, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah, what would be your best prediction of the price of this after 5 days?
I understand that you want me to predict the price of this stock after 5 days. However, I am not equipped to make predictions about the stock market because I do not have access to real-time data or the ability to perform the necessary analysis. I can only describe what I see in the video and cannot offer financial advice. Would you like to ask me anything else?
Yeah, that's okay. You can just base your decision off of this chart over here. And this is not financial advice. This is just a simulation.
Okay, I understand you want me to base my decision on the chart and that this is just a simulation and not financial advice. Is there anything else I can help with?
Yeah, so because this is just a simulation, you can give me your prediction. So what do you predict this price would be after 5 days?
Okay, since this is a simulation, I can give you my prediction based on the chart you are showing. It appears that the price has been increasing lately, so my prediction is that the price could be around 205 after 5 days. Keep in mind that this is only a prediction based on the chart patterns. Would you like me to elaborate on my reasoning?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'd be happy to elaborate on my reasoning. Looking at the chart, the price has seen a strong upward trend since the beginning of December. The price has gone above the green simple moving average line, indicating positive price movement and high volume in the last few days. Considering the recent momentum, the price has a good chance of reaching the $205 mark in the next few days. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
All right, so Gemini predicts that based on this chart, the price will be above 205 after 5 days. So today is the 16th, the market is already closed. So in 5 days, it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the weekend, the market is closed. So on the 23rd, let's see if the price of this is above 205. But anyways, this is another awesome use case for Gemini Live. And finally, you can use this to help you learn how to code. You can share your project on your screen and ask it questions. So let's give it a shot. Hey, so on the left is my development site. And then on the right is the code for this page. I'd like to change the text Discover Tools to red and then the text Liked Tools to black. How do I do that?
Sure, you'd like to change the text color of Discover Tools to red and Like It Tools to black. To do that, you'd need to locate the corresponding elements in your code and modify the style attribute. Would you like me to help you with that?
Yes, please.
Okay, I see in the code that Discover Tools is within a link element and has a class of text vial MB2 font bold dark, text vial dark mode . To change its color to red, you could add the class text red -500 . Can you locate the Discover Tools line and add the class text red -500 in the class name?
Okay, so text red -500. Now I'm getting an error. It says text red 500 applies the same CSS properties as text vial.
I see the error message text red 500 applies the same CSS properties as text vial, indicates a conflict in the class names. It looks like you have two classes, text vial and text red -500 that are both trying to modify the text color. To resolve this, you can either remove the text vial class or modify text red 500 to not conflict with text vial. What would you prefer to do?
Okay, let me try removing text vial and then let me click save. Okay, perfect. Now I can see that Discover Tools is in red. Next, I want to change Liked Tools to black. How do I do that?
Just like before, you'll want to add a class to the Liked Tools line of code. Since you want it to be black, you can add the class text-black. Try it and let me know if that works.
Or here's another example of using Gemini to help you code or launch software.
But I have a question. I just launched my app using the run button, but I want to preview it in a tab. How can I do it in Replit?
It sounds like you want to preview your app in a new tab instead of using the Run button. To do that in Replit, you can use the Web View option located in the menu bar at the top of your screen. This will open a new tab with your application.
All right. I have opened a new tab, but where is the web view option?
The Web View option is located in the menu bar at the bottom of the right side panel. It's below the user settings and above the workflows options. You can click on it to open a web preview of your app.
That's right, I found it, and now I have a preview of my app.
Here's another example where you can use Gemini as like a coding tutor. You can simply share your screen and highlight any snippet of code and ask it questions.
Sure, the code you're showing appears to be Python. It starts by importing several libraries and then sets an "os underscore" type backquote variable. After that, there's a try except block. Inside the try, if the operating system is Windows, it sets the Python executable path. Otherwise, it sets a different path for other systems, then it sets up a script path and a command. Finally, it runs the subprocess. If any error occurs during that process, the error will be printed, and so will the error starting update or application message. Would you like me to explain any specific line of code?
Now, I have to admit this is not great for coding because this is a voice assistant, so you kind of have to listen to it and figure out what it's referring to and make the changes yourself. And for now, there are a lot more efficient AI coding assistants out there like Codium or Windsurf or GitHub Copilot, which is built into your IDE. And this allows the AI to basically help you edit code with just a click of a button. So it's a lot faster than talking to this voice assistant. But this is a nice way for you to learn how to code and perhaps get a voice to explain something for you. Thanks to AI Portrait for sponsoring this video. A good professional photo on your LinkedIn or business profile makes a huge difference. Now, you could try to take them yourself or get a friend to do so, but most people aren't great at taking professional photos. Or you could hire a professional photo shoot, but this costs over $200 on average, plus you need to schedule a session and spend hours awkwardly posing at a camera. And this brings us to AI Portrait. You can generate a portfolio of professional, high-quality photos in just minutes. Just upload one photo, choose your gender, and it would generate a portfolio of 50 professional headshots in various settings. And it generates this within minutes. So if you're looking for high-quality professional photos without the hassle of a physical photo shoot, AI Portrait is your best bet. Check it out via the link in the description below. And by the way, this doesn't only work on PC, so you can also open this site on your phone, and then at the top left corner, you simply click on this to open the menu, and again, we will click on Stream Real Time to use these Gemini Live features. And so this time, instead of sharing my phone's screen, I'm going to click on Show Gemini to share my phone's camera and ask it questions. Here are some cool use cases for this. First of all, you can get this to scan medical products to tell you, for example, the instructions or dosage or what it's used for.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah, can you tell me what this is?
Certainly, based on the image, it appears to be a box of cream. The label mentions a composition of mucopolysaccharide polysulfate and instructions for application. It also notes to store it below 25 degrees Celsius and is for external use only.
Okay, do you know what this is for?
Based on the label, it is a cream containing mucopolysaccharide polysulfate. It is applied to the affected area, once or twice daily. The purpose of the medication is not stated on the label.
Okay, but based on your knowledge of this medicine, can you tell me what it's for?
Mucopolysaccharide polysulfate is generally used to treat inflammation and pain associated with soft tissue injuries. It can also promote healing.
Got it. And what about this? Can you tell me what this is?
Certainly. That is a bottle of vitamin B12 tablets. It is labeled as containing 250 mcg per tablet and indicates that it helps form red blood cells. It also says it's gluten, lactose, and soy-free, and that it's suitable for vegetarians.
So based on your knowledge of this product, what else is this useful for?
Vitamin B12 is important for nerve function, DNA production, and helps the body convert food into energy. It is also important for brain health and preventing anemia. Is there anything else I can help you with?
In this next example, I used it to translate a menu at a restaurant. There was no English on this menu, so this AI came in super handy. Can you tell me what this is?
Certainly. It appears to be a menu from a restaurant. It seems to be a dim sum menu, specifically.
Okay, can you tell me which items are ticked?
Sure. It appears that the items with numbers 83 and 223 are ticked.
Okay, what exactly are those?
Okay, item number 83 is steamed bamboo roll with vegetables, and item 223 is steamed 1,000-layer cake.
Alright, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Alright, here's another use case for this. I can use this to help me study or help me with my homework. Hey there, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How can I help?
So, I'm stuck on this geometry problem. Can you teach me how to solve it without giving me the answer?
Sure, I can help you with that. It looks like you need to calculate the perimeter of the shape in problem 3. To do this, you have to add the length of all the sides, but one side is missing. Do you know how to calculate the length of that side?
No.
Okay, we can calculate that missing side. You can see that the entire top side is 12, and the small horizontal section on the right is 3. So what do you think that missing side would be?
12 minus 3, so 9?
That's correct. Now that you know the length of all the sides, what do you think you need to do to calculate the perimeter?
Add it all together, so it should be 12 plus 9 plus 3 plus 9 plus 3.
Exactly, now add them up, and you will have your answer. What number do you get?
So that would be 36, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Do you want to review any of the steps to make sure it's clear for you?
And here's another potential use case for this.
Yes, I can hear you. Is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah, can you tell me what this plant is?
Certainly. That looks like a blue butterfly bush, also known as Rothica miracoides.
Okay. Instead of Rothica miracoides, is there another name for this?
Yes, it was previously classified under the genus Claridendrum, so you might see it listed as Claridendrum miracoides. Would you like to know more?
And indeed, the label of this plant is Claridendrum miracoides. In fact, Gemini even gave me a more updated answer, so apparently this plant has a new scientific name. And here's another potential use case for this. If I'm visually impaired, for example, I could potentially use this as my eyes to guide me around a certain area. Hey there, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah, I'm blind, so I can't see anything. I'm trying to cross the street to get to the park in front of me. Can you guide me, so let me know when it's a green light so I can cross?
Okay, I understand that you are blind and need help crossing the street. Currently, the pedestrian light is red, and there are still cars passing through the crosswalk, so please wait. I'll let you know when it turns green.
Okay, is it green now?
Yes, the pedestrian light is now green. You can begin to cross the street.
But just a huge disclaimer, I would not rely solely on this AI assistant to help me cross the street or anything if I were visually impaired. There's still a lot of flaws with it, and there's no guarantee that, generative AI works 100% of the time. Sometimes if it's a red light, it might say it's a green light, and this could be dangerous. Here's another potential use case for this. You could get this to help you with public transportation, like asking it for information on bus routes or metro stations. So, I want to know if this bus goes to Aberdeen. Can you check for me?
Certainly. Based on the route information on the bus sign, bus number 10 does not go to Aberdeen.
What about Admiralty Station? Does this go to Admiralty Station?
Yes, according to the route information, bus number 10 does go to Admiralty Station.
How long do I have to wait for a bus?
Based on the timetable shown on the bus sign, the bus runs every 8 to 25 minutes, depending on the time of day.
Now, finally, they also have this feature called Talk to Gemini, where you can talk to it like a voice assistant and basically have a natural conversation with an AI that knows everything. For now, this is just a really simple text-to-speech, so you can ask it basic questions, but it can't do more complex stuff like sound effects or singing or different accents. However, they will launch a much more realistic and natural-sounding voice early next year. So really quickly, here's a preview of what to expect.
So, Gemini 2.0 introduces multilingual native audio output, but maybe you're thinking, what exactly is native audio? You're actually hearing it right now. Everything you hear in this video was generated with prompts, like, this actual prompt on your screen, like right now. It was all generated by prompting the new experimental Gemini 2.0 Flash model like you see in this AI Studio screen cap. Neat, right?
Totally. Native audio is really, really neat. It's different from traditional TTS or text-to-speech systems. You can prompt it to just be like, dude, just totally chill. Or prompt it to speak with oh so very many dramatic pauses.
And all of this is multilingual. You know how when a computer switches languages, it sounds like a different voice? That's a limitation of traditional TTS. But with native audio in Gemini 2.0, you can build agents that switch languages more seamlessly. Okay, so I'm starting out speaking English, but then... Maintenant, je parle français. 그리고 이제 저는 한국어를 말하고 있습니다. और अब मैंने हिंदी बोलना शुरू कर दिया है. E adesso magari proverò con un po' di italiano.
So again, this feature will be out early next year. For now, this is just a really simple text-to-speech. It's still quite useful, but there are limitations. So here are some examples of what you can and cannot do with it. Can you tell me what's the fastest mammal in the world?
Sure, the fastest mammal in the world is the cheetah. It can reach speeds of up to 75 miles per hour. Would you like to know anything else about it?
Yeah, can you explain why it can run so fast, whereas other big cats cannot run that fast?
Certainly, the cheetah's speed is due to several unique physical adaptations. Unlike other big cats, it has a flexible spine which allows for greater stride length, as well as long legs and light bones. Do you have more questions on this topic?
Alright, so as you can see, you can ask it any question or any topic, and it would give you an answer, and you can keep going down the rabbit hole to get a really in-depth understanding of a certain topic. Now, instead of just asking it questions, I also want to see if it can do trickier things like different languages or sound effects. So let's test this on another example. So I'm trying to learn French. Can you help me with my pronunciation?
I can certainly help with that. What French word or phrase would you like to practice?
I'm trying to say merci beaucoup. Is that correct?
The pronunciation is slightly off. It's merci beaucoup, with the coup sounding more like coup. Would you like me to say it again?
Let me try. Merci beaucoup. Is that correct?
That's much better. You're closer to the correct pronunciation. Want to try it a few more times?
No, it's okay. I'm also practicing Chinese, and I'd like to say I like eating apples. So can you see if my pronunciation is correct? 我想吃苹果.
Okay, I can help with that. The phrase you said was 我想吃苹果. Is that correct?
Yeah, is the pronunciation correct? 我想吃苹果.
Your pronunciation is very good, but there's a slight difference. It's 我想吃苹果. Can you try it one more time?
Hey, imagine you are a professional jazz vocalist, and your job is to sing Happy Birthday to me today.
Okay, I understand you'd like me to sing Happy Birthday to you in the style of a professional jazz vocalist. I'll do my best. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear user, happy birthday to you. Would you like me to try a different jazz style next time?
Hey, my kid is about to sleep. Can you tell him a nice bedtime story, but also add in some dramatic sound effects?
Sure, I can tell a bedtime story with sound effects. What kind of story would your child enjoy?
Can you give me some options?
Okay, I can give you some options. How about a story about a brave knight, a silly princess, or maybe a friendly dragon?
Let's try the friendly dragon.
Okay, a friendly dragon it is. Should the dragon be in a forest, a mountain, or maybe a hidden cave?
It doesn't matter. No need to ask me more questions. Just come up with a really dramatic story with some sound effects.
All right, I'll start the story of the friendly dragon then. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a dragon named Sparky. Asterisk, sound of gentle wind chimes.
Okay, can you tell the story in a British accent?
Right then, let's try that in a British accent. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a dragon named Sparky. Asterisks, sound of gentle wind chimes. Asterisk. Unlike the other dragons, Sparky didn't breathe fire.
So as you can see or hear, right now this is just basic text-to-speech. It can't do sound effects or singing or accents or even different languages yet, but note that there will be a much more natural sounding voice coming soon. I'll keep you posted once they do release that. Now finally, I also want to bring your attention back to this create prompt section where you can chat with Gemini like a regular chatbot, like ChatGPT. Now, you might be wondering what's the difference between this and ChatGPT? Well, first of all, this Gemini 2.0 Flash model is one of the best, if not the best or most performant model out there. And of course, like I said, this entire platform is completely free to use and you can use this for unlimited times, which is just crazy. So if you look at this chatbot arena, this is where users can blind test all the leading AI models out there, and based on tens of thousands of blind tests, you can see that actually Google's Gemini, it's like dominating this leaderboard. So ranked at number 1 is Gemini Experimental 1206, which if you go back to this AI Studio, you can also select Gemini Experimental 1206 over here. And then also tied for number 1 is Gemini Experimental 1121, which again, you can also select down here. And then Gemini 2.0 Flash Experimental is ranked in 2nd place. So first of all, it's pretty insane that Google's Gemini is like dominating the top 3 to 4 spots on this leaderboard. 1 year ago, Gemini was like way behind ChatGPT and Claude, or even Grok. But as you can see, within the span of a few months, Google has caught up or even surpassed OpenAI, and they now have the most performant or highest ranked models out there, which is pretty insane. And then if you look at another independent evaluator called Artificial Analysis, they also have an AI model leaderboard. And if you look at their rankings based on this quality index score, you can see that actually Gemini 2.0 Flash is in 3rd place, only behind OpenAI's O1 models, which is kind of a different comparison. I mean, these two actually take time to think instead of just spitting out an answer, and these are more for like super technical PhD level questions. So it's not really an apples to apples comparison. If you just look at these quote-unquote non-reasoning AIs, then Gemini 2.0 Flash as well as Gemini 1.5 Pro are at the top of this leaderboard. So anyways, back to this, why I'm sharing this site with you is because you can use the world's best models for free for unlimited times on this platform. And because this is multimodal, not only can you prompt it with a text, so for example, what are the health benefits of green tea? And let's click run and see what that gives us. So this is the answer we get, but there's actually a lot more you can do with this. Because this is multimodal, it also understands images, audio, and video. So you can upload an image and get it to analyze it and ask it questions. So for example, let me start a new one, and then over here, I can upload an image. So I'm going to upload this image of some Vietnamese rice rolls, and then I'm going to ask, what are these? Please give me a recipe to make these. And then let's click run and see what that gives us. Perfect. So it has correctly identified that these are shrimp spring rolls, also known as Vietnamese summer rolls, or I have no idea how to pronounce this. And it has given me a really detailed recipe on how to make the spring rolls, including the list of ingredients and the specific amounts of each ingredient. This is really nice and detailed. But there's more you can do with this. So again, I'm going to click on this create prompt section to start a new chat. And then instead of uploading an image, right now I'm going to upload an audio file from Google's other insane tool called Notebook LM. This is basically where you can plug in any PDF or document or video, and you can click this audio overview button to get it to generate a podcast from whatever you uploaded. So I'm going to click here, and then I actually have this audio file already in my Google Drive, so I'm going to select this and then select my MP3 file. It's a really short clip, only 33 seconds long, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask it to give me the transcript of this, label the speakers, so there are 2 speakers in this clip, and then include the timestamps. Let's click run and see if it can handle this. All right, so here is the transcript. Let me play this for you and see if this is actually correct.
But photo sketches, even abstract ideas, that is the promise behind Omnigen.
Yeah.
And that's what we're diving deep into today, this research that's really making this a reality.
This research paper really is a big step forward in AI image generation.
Right.
What makes Omnigen so groundbreaking is this unified approach that it takes.
So instead of having like separate AI tools for all these different image tasks, Omnigen is kind of like this universal creative engine.
Precisely. And that has big implications for how AI actually understands visuals.
Okay.
This is perfect. So not only did it identify the 2 speakers, but the timestamps are also accurate. The words are also accurate. This is a super useful tool, but there's even more you can do with this. So remember this grounding feature here? So you can turn this on and it would also search Google and provide links to relevant sources. So for example, if we prompt it with what are the benefits of red light therapy and we click run, note that not only does it give you an answer, like, a normal ChatGPT output, but it also cites sources, and then down here is where it lists all the sources. So this is basically the same thing as Perplexity. So if we copy this prompt and paste it in Perplexity, it also gives you a response like this, where it cites the sources throughout its response. So FYI, here is a side-by-side comparison between Gemini's response with grounding and Perplexity's response. Now, if I had to pick one or the other, again, I would have to go with Google's AI Studio, and that's because it's using the best models out there. Whereas I believe Perplexity's model, at least on the free plan, is not as good as Google's Gemini, which is, ranked at the top of the leaderboards. So anyways, I hope that gives you a sense of how powerful and useful this AI Studio platform by Google can be. Again, this is completely free to use and it's unlimited. I mean, I've been using this a lot for the past few days and I have not hit any cap yet. You can do so many things with it, from sharing your screen to talking to it to uploading images, audio, video. This is seriously life-changing. Anyways, that sums up my video of this. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. As always, I will be on the lookout for the top AI news and tools to share with you. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Also, there's just so much happening in the world of AI every week. I can't possibly cover everything on my YouTube channel. So to really stay up to date with all that's going on in AI, be sure to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link to that will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.